Jets Overtime Special, brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Contact your local Honda dealer for a great deal today.
I think the players understand exactly what we're trying to accomplish. I feel like that. But I do understand there's a lot more work to be done. And listen, we're ripping pages out of some situations that we want to get better at. And we want to create our own narrative. So when it's all said and done, this is going to be a book that a lot of people like to read.
Welcome to the Jets Overtime, our training camp previews presented by Honda. I'm Eric Allen alongside Quincy Enunwa. Q, the Jets are on the runway, just days away from their first camp under Aaron Glenn. What are these final hours like for a player before the start of camp?
Well, honestly, I think it's important to really get your relaxation right now because you're going to have a huge grind going into this summer, into the fall, into the season. It's your opportunity to relax, visit some family, enjoy 4th of July, all those different things, because once you hit the ground, you're running as fast as you can.
You were telling me it's possible for a player to actually overtrain before camp.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of guys do. And then you come into it and you can't even get the conditioning test done. So it's really important to make sure that you know when to rest and recover. Now, for those young guys, it's tough because you don't really have an example. When you're in college, you don't have this big of a break, right? You're in school, you're having more camp, all these different things. So now as an NFL player, it's important to learn exactly how to take care of yourself.
What do you think about Coach Glenn, the culture he started to instill in the spring, and how can this team build off of that now in the summer?
Yeah, I mean, we saw it when he first got in here. He really wants to keep it Fort Knox, right? But he's changing some things up, right? You saw the quarterback helmet with the GoPro on it, right? Some things of just kind of making sure that his coaches can do the best to make sure his players are performing their best on the field.
Q, youth has been served here. There are only a handful of players over 30 on this roster, and that's been by design.
Yeah, absolutely. This is how you build a culture. You make sure that the young guys know exactly what needs to be done, so that way, as long as I'm here, they know how I want to see it.
All right, let's bring in everyone now. As Caroline Hendershot and Ethan Greenberg join us. Caroline, what are you most looking forward to at training camp?
I think everyone is obviously excited to see Aaron Glenn's first training camp as a head coach and how he operates it. But other than that, I'm most excited to see the return of Jermaine Johnson. I was talking to him a few weeks ago, and he was really emphasizing that he's not setting ceilings for himself, he's setting standards. So he's going to come out swinging and try to pick up right where he left off. And I don't think he says anything that he doesn't mean. So I'm excited to see what he brings in training camp.
Jermaine Johnson could start camp on the PUP list, but the Jets fully expect him to be ready for week 1 action against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ethan, how about you?
I'm going up front on the other side of the line, to the offensive line, because Armand Membou's a guy that I want to see how he assimilates. Obviously, in the spring, you can't really evaluate offensive or defensive linemen because there are no pads. So how does the first-round pick, the 7th overall pick, assimilate to a young, promising group with guys like Olu Fashanu, Elijah Vera-Tucker, John Simpson, and, of course, Joe Tippmann? So for me, how does he kind of mesh with that group? This time last year, we were talking about an older group, a group that was dealing with some injuries this time last year. Chemistry and time on task is very important. So I want to see how Membou does not only with that group, but he has a good test every day, whether it's a guy like Jermaine Johnson, if he's active on the roster, or a guy like Will McDonald.
The Jets could have bookend tackles for the next 5 to 10 years in Olu Fashanu and the aforementioned Armand Membou. Where are you going, Q?
Yeah, so I'm going to go with the defensive tackles, right? Because that group right there, Ethan said it perfectly. You can't see how they're doing in the offseason, but once training camp comes, that's where the excitement comes. We get to really see those battles in the interior. We know about Quentin Williams, but who else is going to step up? Derek Knighty comes in, right? You got Byron Coward. You've got some guys in there that want to kind of come in and make a name for themselves. So it's important to see that defensive interior really step up.
Oh, man, you all are burying the lead. The Jets have a new quarterback in Justin Fields. All eyes will be on number 7 this summer. This is his 3rd team in 3 years, and he's impressed the coaches with his work ethic. Offensive coordinator Tanner Engstrand called Fields a workaholic, and he's aced the chemistry test so far with his teammates. Now we're going to watch Fields' mechanics in camp and how much mastery he has of this new offensive system when he returns. Quincy, let's go back to Darren Muji's first news conference where he told the media, our philosophy here with the Jets will be to draft, develop, keep our own, and be disciplined and strategic in free agency. Speaking of keeping your own, how about him going out here in his first off season as GM of the Jets and signing both Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner to long-term extensions?
Yeah, listen, EA, not many people can say that they signed 2 possible Ring of Honor candidates, but Darren Muji did just that, right? Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner, 2 guys that have continued to break records and continue to make history for this Jets team, and now they get an opportunity to do this for the long term. Whenever you're on a team and you know that they're going to sign 2 guys to long-term extensions, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel confident. It makes you have belief in your GM and your head coach.
But how about the prospects of the team and the organization? Because both these dudes are elite players right now. They're 24 years old.
Right, young guys, right? So, and I think that's one thing to really pay attention to is that they're signing their young guys, they're not letting them go off into free agency. They're not even giving them an opportunity to step out there, right? They signed them to the 5th year and they say, you know what, we're not even gonna let you get there. We wanna give you this long-term extension right now.
Coming up, we're gonna talk about some Jets position battles and how they might play out in training camp. Stay tuned.
This Jets Overtime Special is brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Contact your local Honda dealer for a great deal today. Welcome back to this Jets Overtime Special brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Contact your local Honda dealer for a great deal today.
I think when we talk about our depth chart from a special teams perspective, I know AG has said this, and I echo the same sentiment. Those depth charts are written in pencil. So it's a dynamic process that can change on a consistent and day-to-day basis. The biggest thing that we try to make sure we do is challenge these guys, make sure they compete and put their best foot forward as much as they possibly can.
Chris Banjo's certainly correct. Depth charts are written in pencil. But can we pen in some competitions that could get hot this summer, Q?
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one here. It's the wide receiver room, right? You've got Garrett Wilson. He's the guy. We already know that. But who's coming in behind him? You've got Allen Lazard, but they did give him a pay cut this year, so that means he's got a lot to prove. He's got to go out there and show what he can do. Josh Reynolds comes in. He's got some experience with the coordinator and the head coach, so that's a guy that might take that position. Then you've got Tyler Johnson. You also drafted Arian Smith, a burner out of Georgia. But then behind those guys, you've got Malachi Corley, you've got Xavier Gibson. So there's some guys that are very hungry and young that want to show that they belong in this league.
What do you think about that saying in the offensive meeting rooms, in the wide receiver room? No block, no rock, because Aaron Glenn has made no bones about it. He wants his guys on the outside, on both sides of the ball, to be physical.
Yeah, it's really important. I heard Garrett Wilson say that that's something that he's kind of getting outside of his comfort zone to make sure that he competes. I think for myself, I was really a blocking receiver, so I know all about it. And again, whenever you see a long run in the running game, it's always because of the receivers. These guys are important on the edge. You've got to make sure you get those second and third level guys.
Let's bring in Ethan Greenberg and Caroline Huntershot. Greens, where are you going in terms of position battles?
Yeah, I'm going to defensive tackle. It's kind of like receiver. You have a very good player there at the interior of the defensive line. And Quinnen Williams, all-pro, Pro Bowler. But the Jets added a number of players next to him. Byron Cowart, Jay Tufele, Derek Nottie. Those guys combined don't have a ton of sack production, but what can they contribute to Quinnen Williams and next to him? Also, don't forget guys like Fedarian Mathis and someone who flashed at times last year, Leonard Taylor. So that's really where I'm keying in on.
Okay, I see you with defense. I'm going to stay with defense. I'm going to go with the safety position. And hear me out. Everybody obviously is familiar with the Jets' new free agent this past offseason, Andre Sisco, coming from the Jacksonville Jaguars. But there's some returners like Tony Adams, Isaiah Oliver, and rookie Malachi Moore. So when you look at that history, Tony Adams had a career year last year with 6 PDs, 84 tackles, and he'll be the first to tell you that there's another gear for him. So I'm excited to see what those two come back, and then also what Malachi Moore brings as a rookie and how his skill set transitions to the NFL.
We'd be remiss if we didn't mention special teams. The Jets have vacancies at kicker with Harrison Mevis and Caden Davis. At punter with Austin McNamara and Kai Kroger, a lefty out of South Carolina. The return candidates include Xavier Gibson, Kene Nwanwu, and then you have some young challengers that could include Jamal Pritchett and Arian Smith. How about the gunner position? Irv Charles is returning from injury. Chris Boyd is a special team stalwart. Jamarcus Weston was a freak at Florida, and Arian Smith is a speedster who will mix it up. I mean, this is going to be something to watch throughout training camp and the entire preseason. When we come back on Jets Overtime, we're going to play a special training camp installment of Make Your Case.
This Jets Overtime special is brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Contact your local Honda dealer for a great deal today. Welcome back to this Jets Overtime special brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Contact your local Honda dealer for a great deal today.
Welcome back to Jets Overtime. Our training camp preview is presented by Honda. It's time for Make Your Case as we're joined by Quincy, Caroline, and Greens. Is everyone ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Caroline, we're starting with you. Which position group has the most depth on this Jets roster?
I'm going to go running backs, and that's because not only is Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis, and Kene Nwangwu all returning, they added 2 more new faces to the roster with Zach Evans and Donovan Edwards. So I want to see how that all shapes up and who ends up making the 53-man roster.
So I hear that, but I'm going with the signal callers because not every NFL team, not a lot of them, have 2 starting caliber quarterbacks. That's what the Jets have with Justin Fields and Tyrod Taylor. I like the way that they stack up.
Ooh, I got one for you. It's a little dark horse, the offensive line, right? So you bring in Membu, and now you have an opportunity to really see those 5 go out there and compete. But then you've got some guys behind it, Xavier Newman, Max Mitchell. The list goes on. Guys that have experience, and confidence is key in the NFL.
Can we give the linebackers some love? The last 2 MVPs for the Jets, Quincy Williams and Jamie Sherwood. Now, who's going to step up and be that number 3 linebacker on this roster? That's going to be interesting. Caroline, who's your breakout candidate?
I think I have to say Justin Fields. I feel like for the first time in his career, he's in a stable place with his coaching staff, and he has some familiar receivers with Jeremy Ruckert and Garrett Wilson from OSU days. So I think we're going to see the best numbers from Justin Fields in his career this year.
And I'm going with Jeremy Ruckert, and I'm not just saying that because of the dynamic that goes back to Columbus, Ohio with Ruckert and Fields, but Coach Glenn said there's a lot of meat on the bone for what Jeremy Ruckert can do in the NFL. There's a lot of opportunity on this roster, so I think that we've yet to see the best from Jeremy Ruckert.
I'm going to go to the defensive side. I'm going Quantez Stiggers. This is a guy that's been able to learn from Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed. He's got great length and size. I want to see him really go out there and compete for some playing time this year.
Ethan, right position, maybe wrong guy. I'm going Mason Taylor, the rookie out of LSU, the most productive Bayou Bengal in terms of the tight end position throughout his collegiate career. Listen, he's got a really good feel for the game. Watch him over the middle of the field. Caroline, let's keep it moving. Which Jets player or coach will garner the most views on social media this summer?
Sauce Gardner, easy answer. I feel like every summer he's traveling, he's here, there, everywhere, working out with other notable players in the NFL. So I think it's an easy question, Sauce Gardner.
So I actually think that any quarterback-receiver dynamic is what fans gravitate to, but I don't want to go there because this is a new regime. I want to go with something that Coach Glenn does. I don't know what it is, whether it's a speech, whether it's interacting with the fans. I just think that Coach Glenn will have a lot of attention come a couple weeks from now.
The real answer is Justin Fields, right? Everybody wants to see what he's going to do this year. They want to see how competitive he's going to be on the field. He's going to make those plays. Justin Fields is the answer.
I'm taking G5. Garrett Wilson makes the extraordinary look ordinary. This guy is an acrobat with his speed, jumping ability, strength, and balance. Caroline, how about a prediction for the play of camp?
I mean, you just hinted at it, EA. It's got to be Garrett Wilson. He makes those crazy one-handed catches easy, but when they're not easy whatsoever. So I think it's going to be a G5 one-handed catch.
Yeah, see, I feel like I'm being torn mentally in so many different directions. I'm stressed out about this, whether it's Fields, whether it's Garrett. Just give me someone on the defensive side of the ball. I'm just going to go with Andre Cisco because I think that we've seen flashes of the ball hawk tendencies that we saw in Jacksonville throughout the spring, but let's see what happens when the pads come on.
So this one was a little tough for me. So I'm actually not going to give you an actual play. I'm going to give you a competition between Sauce and Garrett. Whatever happens between those two is going to be the play of camp. Those guys are going to put on a battle all year because they want to show how great they are.
I'm going to take a Justin Fields explosive run. He puts so much much pressure on opposing defenses with those RPOs. And he's a guy who has 18 runs of 20-plus yards and 4+ runs of 40+ yards throughout his career. I think we're going to be looking back at Fields getting big numbers. How about a surprise visitor at camp, Caroline?
All right, hear me out. I'm gonna go with Ice Spice. And that is because she may or may not have gone Instagram official with a certain cornerback on the Jets roster this past spring. So I think that she might make an appearance to support her boyfriend.
So I like that answer. And, I was really torn about this one, too. I was going back and forth. And I think what I want to do is go with somebody that's right over your shoulder, Q, right behind you. Yeah, I want to go with that guy. Rocking the Uncrustable. First of all, Quincy doesn't look like he aged a day. Second of all,
hopefully this is after practice.
That was before practice.
Quincy, is that a strawberry or grape flavored Uncrustable?
It's the grape, baby, the original.
Okay.
That's the right answer.
The only one that
agree
matters.
with that. And so look, I know Quincy's going to be at camp, so that's not my real answer, but I came across a photo. I thought it was too good to pass up. I'm going with Bob Does Sports. We're talking about Sauce Gardner being interested in golf. Bob Does Sports had a little video with Sauce. I want them here, and I want to see some golf content.
I'm going with the easy answer, Jason Taylor, right? He's going to come see his son. And me personally, I don't know Jason Taylor as a Jet, but I know that the Jets love that he's here and his son is here. It's going to be amazing to watch him watch his son and really be proud of himself.
Right name, wrong Jason. I'm going Jason Glenn. Jason Glenn played linebacker for the Jets from 2001 to 2004. I'm a dinosaur. I was here back then. And listen, he is one of Aaron Glenn's 10 brothers and sisters. Coming up, we'll deliver our final thoughts and give you our end of camp headlines.
This Jets Overtime special is brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Contact your local Honda dealer for a great deal today. Welcome back to this Jets Overtime special brought to you by your local Honda dealers. Contact your local Honda dealer for a great deal today.
Welcome back to Jets Overtime. Our training camp preview is presented by Honda. Eric Allen alongside Quincy Enunwa. We're bringing back in Caroline Hendershot and Ethan Greenberg. The Jets will wrap up training camp before their final preseason game against the Eagles. What will the Jets' end of camp headline be, Caroline?
I'm going to go with Buzz builds in New York. The underdogs are ready for takeoff. I think a lot of people don't expect much of a first-year head coach, Aaron Glenn, and the Jets. I think people are going to be surprised and changing their tune by the end of training camp.
Well, speaking of Glenn, I want to go with Glenn sets new standard for Jets. This training camp really seems like it's going to be intense. We already know there's going to be some form of live tackling. I think the intensity will be palpable day one. Before the pads come on, after 30 days or so, I think we'll be talking about a new look Jets and a different vibe.
So I'm going to take a page out of Aaron Glenn's book and keep it short and sweet. My answer is first response, because the Jets have a lot of question marks this training camp, and they want to answer them all in the camp and show guys this is exactly who we're going to be this year.
I'm going with young Jets get old school lessons at Camp Glenn. Football ultimately is about blocking and tackling and winning at the line of scrimmage. As Glenn installs his culture, this summer we'll have some true hard knocks. Great job from everyone today. As we look ahead to the Jets training camp chapter, let's look back at the first pages of the Green and White's 2025 story. We'll see you soon.
We have some breaking news out of the NFL. The New York Jets have officially hired Aaron Glenn.
It's once again about resetting the culture here.
I don't want to collect players. I want to build a football team.
The New York Jets have a new general manager. It's Darren Muji.
We want to just add smart, tough, aggressive, resilient players to this team.
Steve Wilk will be named as the official defensive coordinator.
Offensive coordinator, it is Tanner Engstrand.
Jamian Sherwood is back with the New York Jets.
The Jets have a new quarterback.
Fields, open field, and a touchdown.
Wanting to win games and wanting to be great. Feels like the right place at the right time.
There's a purpose for every person that's brought to this building.
Great city, brother.
With the 7th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Armand Membou.
Just beat me, nasty.
I'm already knowing, coach. Yes, sir.
Man, it's been a long time since I've said this, but...
And there goes Taylor!
Zaire Thomas.
Jets.
They got a bunch of physical, aggressive, passionate football players that match the culture that they instituted with their head coach.
Young, talented, athletic players. There's a long-term vision here.
You can see that everybody's starting to pull together for one common cause, and that's what you want as a football team. That's what you want as an organization.
Before I leave this game, the New York Jets are going to be on top. The New York Jets are going to be the football team to watch. I want to be a part of changing the organization.
You can't just say it and all of a sudden this is our identity. No. You got to go, do it every day.
Aaron Glenn talked about the culture, and for him, that starts with the players.
They have a sense of physicality about them already under Aaron Glenn.
Under the radar, everybody. Under the radar. Interesting for a New York team.
It's created this spirited environment that I haven't necessarily seen in these level of practices.
They have a real opportunity to change things around in New York.
Put your seatbelts on and get ready for the ride.